Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to give you an update on something that the ODPM put out, which is very important. Now they're saying citizens are advised to rely on authorities for information during emergencies. And that was put out by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. And we're highlighting it because it's very important. Now, in November, Jamaica had two emergencies, basically. We had an earthquake, a 5.6 magnitude earthquake, and we had heavy rain from a tropical storm. Actually, I think it was, I'm not sure if it had reached a storm when it passed over us, but maybe a tropical depression. But two very significant events in terms of disaster. Now, Jamaica wasn't damaged a lot from the earthquake, and we didn't sustain a lot of damage from nothing catastrophic, I should say. We got damage, but nothing catastrophic. But the reason why this is important, what the authorities are saying, I'm going to give you an example. After the earthquake, somebody put out images, or I'm not sure, there were social media had this thing about a building being damaged. Now this is the tallest building in Jamaica under construction. Still under construction. The Post made it, no, let's not talk about the Post, but it was, people put out all sorts of things, and that can lead to misinformation. Now, using the building as an example, suppose you live next door to that building or in the area of that building. The panic it could have caused, and you need to, in times of public emergency, have to rely on accurate and correct information. Now, the building was just one example. You have a lot of other examples of misinformation. So I'm going to go through an article that the ODPEM put out, and then we talk about it after. The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management is advising citizens to only rely on the responsible authorities for information during emergencies. We want to say persons at all times just exhibit responsibility, give the correct information, and rely on the authorities, said Acting Director General of ODPEM Richard Thompson during an interview with GIS News. He pointed out that the ODPEM is the responsible entity on matters related to disasters. As it relates to an earthquake, it is the earthquake unit in conjunction with the ODPEM. However, the ODPEM remains at all times a national disaster coordinator, which is really the source for authoritative information around disasters and emergencies in Jamaica, he noted. Mr. Thompson's comments followed reports on Friday morning, November 18, that Jamaica experienced a 5.2 magnitude earthquake. However, no such event was recorded by the EQU, that's the earthquake unit. He said the EQU has directed that there was no local felt earthquake in Jamaica, and the only information the unit has within the Semitic community was of another earthquake in the Philippines. Mr. Thompson pointed out that in times of disasters and emergencies, there is the National Emergency Operations Center, which coordinates the entire effort. The ODPEM Acting Director General is also urging citizens to detest from making prank calls, especially in times of crisis and emergency. What it does is it stretches the already stretched emergency response system, especially our first responders who act on the false information or prank calls that say that something is happening and it is actually not so, he said. Meanwhile, head of the EQU at the University of the West Indies, Mona, Kevin Tanku, is reminding citizens and the media that the official information relating to earthquakes in Jamaica is channeled through the local authorities. So unless you have seen a confirmed release from the authorities or some mention of a confirmed earthquake with a reviewed solution, magnitude, depth, and location. That is the extent to which we can speak on it, said Mr. Tanku. To determine if an earthquake occurs in Jamaica, the EQU looks at its sensors located across the island, he noted. Alright, so that is the end of the updates. And with social media, what it is today, you can get information to people so quickly and easily that the information has to be correct. It has to be correct. So this is very good that the ODPEM put this out, because we did have 2 emergencies in 1 month, literally the month of November. And we saw what social media was saying and all sorts of reports. So it's good that they put this out. Alright guys, so let us know what you think about these people putting out false information. And what I would recommend is that these authorities have more of a social media presence, so that, for instance, if an earthquake hits, they can update their page right away, and other people could turn to that page, because it's a social media world now. Let's face it. The days of typing a letter and officially signing it and doing a press release on TV, an earthquake happens, the first place people go is to their their social media page, and the information would be there. So that's something I think they could look into, is upgrading their presence on these platforms. Build, and like now that 2 disasters happened, or emergencies, a lot of people would go to their pages and their sites and follow them or subscribe, so that when something else happens, the information is right there. I know I would. Alright guys, let us know what you think about this press release. Alright guys, have a good day.